You're listening to the Geekly Chronicles. It's like Fox News, only we never promised factual accuracy.
We'd like to introduce a guest from the knitting and crafting community.
Marna Gilligan makes silver jewellery, draws sinister cats, and then turns them into knitting patterns. She became an accidental political person and started the Knitters Against Brexit hashtag.
Marna, welcome to the Geekly Chronicles.
Hi there, I'm really happy to be here.
Before we get started, what pronouns do you use, Marna?
I'm happy with she, her.
Lovely. First off, I wanted to ask you about your company name. Am I saying it on Catine Beag?
No, you're mangling it. Everybody does. It's on Catine Beag, and it's Irish. And it never occurred to me when I was setting it up that I wasn't actually in Ireland. Most people outside of Ireland don't have any Irish. And it means the little small cat or the tiny wee cat.
Oh, getting a language lesson.
Do you want another key Irish phrase?
I'd love one.
This is the one thing that everybody who went to school in Ireland knows how to say. On bhfuil ceadagam, dul go dtí an leithreas, mór sé the hulle. And that means, can I go to the toilet, please?
Well, it's really long, isn't it? If I needed the toilet when I was 5, I'd throw my hand up and say, toilet! Getting that out, I'd have wet myself before I got to the end of the phrase.
I can't really remember. I think it was laid back a bit until you got to about 7, at which point you were expected to have mastered it.
You have a new book out right now, which is really exciting. I had a ticket to come along for the launch party. It was really sad when, I suppose quite rightly, it had to be cancelled. What's it been like launching a book under lockdown?
It's been strange. So, like you said, I had a lunch party that got cancelled, and, cancelling it was obviously the right thing to do, but it was a sad decision because I had plans for cake and goodie bags and loads of people were coming. And I also had a tiny book tour sorted out, so I was going to take the book to lots of yarn shops, take the samples to yarn shops and help people choose yarn for their new knit. So all of that's had to move online, really. So we did a little online party launch. So my actual cats were there rather than any in-person guests. And I did an Instagram takeover with the yarn dispensary. But yeah, it's weird. I'm trying to not feel particularly bitter about it because, it's terrible timing.
So tell us a bit more about the book. Do you have a favourite cat knits pattern?
I have a few favourites, actually. There's one cardigan in there. It's called the Big Cats cardigan. And it's this huge, big, snuggly, cosy cardigan. And it's got big intarsia cats all over it. And it's got little pockets hidden behind the cat's ears.
Oh, that's adorable.
It is. I'm really, really, really pleased with how it came out. I think it's my favourite thing from the whole book. But it was not my favourite thing to knit. It is a particularly knotty, tangly form of knitting. It's not like colour work, which I find more exciting. In terms of actually doing the knitting, I think probably the cowls are my favourite because there's a colour work cowl in there and it's just like very gentle.
I do like a cowl, just lots of round and round.
I don't even know whether you're saying cow, the animal, cowl as in a thing, or towel. I mean, I'm such a beginner. How do I get started? What do I do? I mean, we've got more time at home than we've ever had before. I feel like a new skill like knitting, this is the perfect time. But how?
I find knitting really, really good to calm my anxiety and give myself something to be grounded on. Yeah, I think you should try the knitting. Normally when I'm teaching knitting, I like to be quite hands-on. I like to show them what to do. And that's obviously not something you can do now. So I'd say maybe it could be fun to have a little knitting learning Zoom party with a friend.
Catherine, you have been knitting for a long time. I have never knitted before. What do you think? We do you try and teach me over Zoom and we invite people in to watch.
Oh my goodness.
I would be so there. That sounds like it will be hilarious.
I suppose the Knitly Chronicles. No, well, there's Nicky tutorials on YouTube. Maybe we should do Knitty tutorials. So if I'm thinking of spending some time in lockdown learning to knit, something that we're asking all of our guests, what is your number one tip for surviving lockdown? What's worked for you?
I think the internet. I don't know what state we'd be in at this stage if I didn't have the internet, because that's let me keep in touch with my partner and my friends and my family and the wider world in general. I was never a particularly online type person, and now my diary is just full of Zoom meetings and tutorials and knit nights and things like that.
Yeah, I feel like I watch every person who goes live on Instagram. I'm like, yeah, I'm there.
Instagram lives have been, I used to do a very occasional one. I started doing one every Sunday just so I can go, hi,
Marna, I found all your updates around Brexit and the last general election so useful in a time of such confusion. What motivated you to start sharing on those topics?
Just general frustration, I think. Definitely with the Knitters Against Brexit stuff. We had a political stalemate that didn't seem to be going anywhere. We had a government who'd pretty much lost control and they were doing dafter and wilder things. And it's quite difficult to know where I can put my political anger. So it seemed a good thing to talk about.
Yeah, so am I right in thinking you've actually run for Parliament with the Green Party, was it?
I have, yes, I have twice, in fact, in 2017. And then again, just last year, I've been the Green Party candidate for Gravesham. I didn't win. I'm not sure you're not allowed to knit in the chamber, though.
I don't think I would cope with being somewhere all day that I couldn't knit. Speaking of Knitters Against Brexit, I'm currently knitting the Unity sweater by Danny Sunshine.
That is such a good pattern. I knit it last year and I cast off just in time to wear it to the count on election night.
For our listeners who might not know, the Unity sweater is a blue jumper with 12 yellow stars going around the yoke. So the stars kind of go around the neck and across the shoulders so that you look like you're dressed in a lovely European flag. And Marna makes these lovely little enamel pins, which are like cats and dogs wearing the Unity sweater. So I have to confess, I've just ordered the cat version.
Those sort of came about by accident. On Brexit Day, on the 31st of January, doesn't that feel like a long time ago? I was in such a sad, strange mood, and I was just sharing this on Instagram, as you do. I just sketched up for fun one of my little cats wearing a Unity sweater, and there was this outpouring of people going, I need this as a pin. All the profit from those cats and dogs wearing Unity sweaters is going to unaccompanied child refugees. One of the things that got dropped from the withdrawal agreement was the bit where they were like, we're enshrining in law that unaccompanied child refugees have a right to be reunited with family members.
Well, that's really wonderful.
If our listeners would like a little European cat or dog, where can they go and find one?
They can find them on my website, which is catinebjug.com. I'm sorry, that's an awkward thing to spell.
Yeah, I love all your pins. I bought them as gifts for knitters as well as kind of cat and dog lovers, kind of a go-to when I've got somebody like that.
I really, really enjoy making them. I think the very first two I made, one of them was a bunch of cats going smash the patriarchy. And that is still one of my favourite bestsellers, which makes me really, really happy.
I really need that pin in my life.
It's in suffragette colours and everything.
Amazing. Well, I know exactly what I'm doing straight after the show. Marna, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show this evening.
Thank you for having me on. It's been lovely to come and chat knitting and cats and politics with you both. Thank you.
It's the Geekly Chronicles.